Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome if it's your first time. My name is Allie. I'm a priestess and an oracle. Today's video, we're going to talk about some New Year's type things, but I want to really focus on something like 4 quick questions that you can ask yourself to really get the gems out of what has happened this past year. I personally like to do a whole in-depth, like I spend a lot of time visualizing and visioning that this is a really big part of my process as an oracle and as a visionary. So I'll talk about that in a separate video and give you some resources for where you can learn more about how I do that. But this video is really going to be about how do we extract the gems from the year that we're in or the year that's previous that you're leaving, right? Because a lot of times, especially if you had a hard year, it's like, we're just gonna vision. And the thing is, we miss a lot of valuable things when we do that. So I have 4 quick questions for you that you can look at to see to extract those gems before you go into the visioning process. So the first question is, or the first thing that I want you to do is take a sheet of paper out and write out all the months, January through December. Literally write what happened each month. Some months there might not be a whole lot of activity, but for me, if you're like me, if you're evolving at a fast pace, if you're just like, if things just move in your field really quickly, like thinking about January, it might as well be like 1812. Like it seems like it's so long ago. Like I totally forget so many things that have happened because they just seem like they're so much longer ago than only 10 months or 12 months ago. So the first thing I do is literally I take my planner out. I have a physical planner because I'm ancient and because that's how the OGs do it. And you can or you can pull up your Google Calendar, whatever you use. Literally go through each month and look at what was I doing? What was happening, and then think about that time period, like what was going on emotionally, how was I feeling, what was happening in my relationships, what was happening in my workspace, what was happening with my health, like all of the different areas of our life. Just think about what was going on during that time frame and then write down anything notable, and then you'll have a list of all of the months, and that gives us a lot more to work with, and you'll be like, wow, totally forgot that I did this thing. So we want to make sure that we're really looking at like a full picture of what actually happened in that year. Also, for when you continue to do this, if you have a written planner like me or a paper planner, start writing down like in the monthly section what you were like what happens during each month. Like if you do, I do like a general sort of monthly review of like, like profit type stuff as an entrepreneur in my business, but also like what happened in the past month. That also makes it a lot easier when you come back and do this and your like annual review or whatever of your life, of your year. So first, write down everything that's happened, the new experiences you did. You can also take out your goals for that you wrote last year or like your New Year stuff from last year and look at. I typically don't do this to be honest, because then it can turn into this comparison of like, oh, well, I wanted to do that and that didn't happen. Or like to me, the visioning part isn't, this might sound really counterintuitive, but the visioning part of creating your new year isn't for me to like go back and see where I did or didn't meet up to it. Because for me, goals aren't so much like, unless it's like maybe a profit goal or like, I don't do like weight centered goals, but like, oh, you want to lose 10 pounds or you want to drink double the water or whatever. If there's something tangible, you could check against it. But for me, most of it is like vibes and is not so much tangible because to me, I feel like that just kind of sets us up for feeling like, oh, I didn't do the thing. And then we get less enthusiastic about visioning and creating and setting big goals for ourselves. So to be honest, I usually don't look at my like beginning of the year goals. I use that just as a vibe thing for setting the whole year, like setting the energy for the whole year. But you could look at it and see if you have any tangible things that you want to see if you did do those things or not, or how far away you were from them. So The second thing is get a second sheet of paper out and draw a line down the middle and just write what worked and what didn't work. This is going to be from a super objective state of mind. You're not judging yourself. It's like if you were doing an audit, it's you're not getting involved emotionally in it. It's literally just looking at for information for you of like, hey, how do I operate as a person? Like, what works for me? What doesn't work for me? What did I try that I ended up not liking? Or what did I try that I ended up loving? What did I not do that I said I was going to do? Or, and think about this like within all of the areas of your life, within you, and also look at your monthly, like your year by the months to see what did I try that didn't, to figure out what worked and what didn't work. Um, so yeah, write all of those things down. And then the third thing to do, looking at both those first two questions, is figuring out your themes for the year. This is really where I think that so many of the gems are. Um, Looking at your themes, like, okay, what happened throughout the year combined with what worked and didn't work, and just start to see if there's any patterns or if there's any like this past year, I was like, whoa, I was single all year, which was purposeful. And during that time of not having any energy towards men, there was a huge focus on family relationships and friend relationships. And there was so much going on in both of those areas of my life. So it was like one theme was family relationships and having to really like recode a lot of close family relationships because so that they would continue working moving forward, right? And then another theme for me was um having like losing some friendships and then new friends coming in. And so from those themes, especially the friendships one, well, really all of them, it's seeing like, what did I learn in this theme this year? So for me, I lost a few friends this year that I didn't really want to lose, but also, each thing was different in a different situation. And within that, there's a learning of like, what are my boundaries in relationship anymore? Of number one, who I can really be like engaging in friendship with, like what's the criteria for someone to be able to be friends with me? What's the boundaries that I have in my friendships? What am I not willing to um like tolerate or be with, or what sort of things are like off, what sort of things for me are like a signifier that is kind of like a red flag or something in a friendship. So there was a lot of learnings, and those are really like that's really important for me to take time to really look at and sit with. And also like a lot of these things we might just have floating around in our mind, but to actually get it down on a sheet of paper somewhere where we can then go back and look at it at some point, like, and just have it all in one place. Very helpful. So think about what are your themes for the year? What are the patterns that you're finding? And then also when you're looking at the like January to December thing, I forget everything that's happened in a year. So for me, another theme that I had was like my Sagittarian adventure was just like super alive this year. I traveled to like 10 different places and stayed, I don't know, I can't remember. It was a lot. I stayed in different places for a month at a time. I got to explore many new places. I got to go back to places that I love and have different experiences in those places. So, like, a lot of the places I went, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot I went here. I forgot I went there. Places I was staying in for like weeks at a time. So, by looking at that, you can also pick up themes that you might have forgotten. Um, so, looking at those three questions, first of all, will kind of give you a lot of gems moving forward. And it would be really interesting if, like, I don't know that I necessarily have the memory capacity for this, but if you wrote down each year, like, what are the themes that I've learned each year? And then in a decade, you can look at all of the themes you've had for each year. And you could probably go back and just kind of like, think about each year and do it that way. But looking at the themes and our learnings within the themes is really, really helpful for us in navigating the upcoming year and also just like knowing ourselves and what works for us. So then from there, that's really all I do in looking at the past year. Because we don't really have to like ruminate quite so much. Then it's just like, what is exciting me now? So this is going into the fourth part, which is the creating or visioning of the next year. And I do this in like really, I do it in really intuitive and also intricate ways. My visioning process is just like really, really long and like abnormal. So I'm not going to teach that necessarily. I think that we all have our own unique visioning processes, but there's a few different resources that I'm going to give you that can help you with creating the next year because from like an energetic standpoint, it's not about so much like the specific goals you're choosing. It's really more about the vibes rather than tangible did I make this much money or did I do this many squats per day or did I, it's not so much about the tangible things. From an energetic creation standpoint, it's about what is the creative energy that you are setting into the void. This time of the year is about weaving energy together. And you can think about, I teach this with three different faces of, I call her the Destiny Weaver. And one of them is the spider. We just look at how a spider weaves its web, and how intricate it is, and how detailed it is, and how solid each little strand of the webbing is. And so we can look at that of like the energetic input that we're putting into whatever it is we're wanting to create is so valuable and important for us to really know like how we want how what we're desiring feels more than what it looks. Because a lot of times we might think that we want something very particular, but actually there's a better, more aligned way for you to experience the same feeling. It just looks different because the universe, the cosmos, etc., are way smarter than we are and have way more infinite knowledge and expand, like it's so much more infinite than we are. So it can put something together for us so much easier. So, um, what I would suggest if you want help creating, envisioning your next year from someone who's obsessed with this work and has devoted 12 plus years to creating this process, I teach this time of year as the Destiny Weaver. This is the first archetype that I worked with in Full Spectrum Feminine in January with people. And what we do is we look at the weaving of fate. So this time period, we're not supposed like where if you're in the northern hemisphere, you're in winter months. We're not supposed to be like, all right, I'm running 17 miles per day to get ready for my marathon. Like we're not supposed, and you might like running. It's just we're not supposed to be like going full speed. We're still supposed to be slow and like in hibernating energy and resting and reflecting. And this is the perfect time for dreaming things up. You still can start to take action on things, but the issue people have is that we've been, taught that we're supposed to just go full speed January 1st. And that's why everybody fails when we try to do that because it's literally the energy like seasonally, the energy internally, the energy astrologically is like not suitable for that. So it's like swimming upstream. Like you have so much resistance that's just not necessary. It's like, let's just work with the energy that's here. And so what that energy is weaving. So this means that we can be daydreaming, we can be thinking tangibly about how can we create or thinking tangibly really about like what is it that we want to be creating and what is it that we're doing that we might be creating resistance in that? And starting to look at like a lot of the work that I do as an oracle and as a priestess, working with visionaries and working with individuals who want to be in their highest destiny path expression, basically, in their soul mission, is looking at like where are the things that are pausing you or stalling you or tripping you up. And so this is really a fabulous time to be looking at those things and cleaning those things up so that then in April, after the spring equinox, that's the time to go running. That's the time when we energetically, astrologically, and even just in our own spirit, we have so much more energy. It's that blooming energy. So I'm selling now the Weaver archetype. And like I said, this is the first month that we do in Full Spectrum Feminine. And it teaches the Weaver through her three different faces, which we go deep into, and there's a lot of stuff included in this that I'm adding as a bonus. So this is basically like the Dream New Year's um bundle, if you will. So it includes the Weaver archetype, which has a video teaching from me about this archetype, about her three faces, how you can work with her to weave that web really beautifully. This is like both energetic and spiritual. I mean, energetic and logical and practical. So it's approaching it from all angles. Then there's also a workbook where you can really get into the nitty gritty of, like I was saying, what's the stuff that's tripping you up? What's the stuff that, like, also, what is it that you actually want to be creating and how can we tangibly do that? And then also, how can you just like dream into that? And what are the manifesting tools that will support you with that? Then there's a really, really, really great Akashic Records journey. I'm so excited to do this today. I'm filming this on the 30th of December, so I'm going to do this tomorrow. Um, it's so beautiful. It's called Accessing the New You, I think. And this, it's just a really powerful Akashic Records journey that allows you to vision outside of yourself, to kind of tap into, like, get a little glimpse of your destiny path. That's just really fun. And then there's also another one called a pranic channel recalibration. And then the bonuses that I have. Oh, also there's a curated Spotify playlist for the Weaver. And then I'm also including my New Year's ceremony, which I typically do my New Year's ceremony on, like, at the end of the month of December or the first few days of January. The Weaver I work with throughout the month of January. And then I also am including my Art of Reinvention Masterclass, which is like a little bit of a different approach, but same vibes. So if you want to get this bundle now, I'm selling it all together. You can use this every single year. Like, I've been using the Weaver, I created all of this stuff last year, and the New Year ceremony I created in 2021 or 2020. No, actually, I used to use that because my ex-boyfriend asked me when we broke up. He was like, "Can you send me that document?" Because we used to do it together every year. So actually, I created that a long time ago. I've been using that every single year since. And then the Weaver module is just like a huge, it's just like the turbo speed version of that. And then the Art of Reinvention just has a different twist to it. That actually, I think, is really good to do. Um, any other time of the year that you're just feeling this, like, I need to be in a new beginning energy. Like, I would just, let's just wipe off this table and start fresh. That's perfect for that sort of energy. So if you want to get this bundle, it's available now. It's, I'm not going to say the price because that might change over time, but it's very accessible and gives you kind of a full taste of what working with me is like in full spectrum feminine, but just from one angle that is the Weaver of Destiny. And if you're someone who's really committed to being in your visionary mastery, someone who's really committed to doing, like, really being your soul mission and having that emanate from who you are, this will just be an awesome support tool for you. So the link for that is in the comments here if you're interested in getting it, or if you want to get it for a gift for someone, you can do that as well. And you'll just email me and let me know who you want me to give that to. So, anyways, I hope everybody has a really beautiful New Year experience. May we take all of the gems and learnings from this current year and just use them, transmute them, and transform them just into gold for the next year. And may we vision beyond, way, 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 way beyond our mind, because we're capable of so much more than our mind can ever possibly understand. So, if you liked any of these tips, if you want to add anything, please put it in the comments. You can get the Weaver of Destiny bundle at the link in my comments, or you can go to alliewilkins.com/store and you'll see it there. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, I'll see you in the next video.